Good day, YouTube. I'm working on replacing the alternator in a Chevy Venture 2001, known in Europe as a Chevy Transport, and also it's basically the same as a Pontiac Montana. As you can see, the old alternator is out and free, and I did this in about an hour. When it first broke, I wasn't too keen on doing the work myself because, well, you all know where the alternator is placed in these cars. It looked like it was going to be a bitch to do it, but the manufacturer's idea on how to do it is releasing the engine clamps and lowering it. But that's just stupid. Well, the whole construction, even taking a V6 engine and placing it like this, is completely stupid. But car manufacturers are basically idiots. So thanks a goddamn lot, GM, for that. The thing I did, I started searching online, found some tips and ideas on how to do it, but they all said different things, and it sounded like there was a lot of things to do. So I tried a mix of the different things that I read, and it worked just fine. I mean, an hour, that's nothing. So I'm going to tell you how I did it. I started out by, of course, detaching the ground and the battery. And then I took away the beam holding the electrical central just to give me some extra room. I disconnected the wiper engine and took that out, and also disconnected this beam that holds the engine in place. Bended it out a bit. I actually cranked it a bit, but that's just fine. It will go back without a problem. I disconnected the joint to the wipers, because that was in the way. And you see here, disconnected the one to the driver's side wiper too. The alternator itself rests on this, and the videos I saw told me to screw loose these two bolts, but they're in the back, so that's a goddamn bitch work. I didn't want to do that, so instead I took out the bolt here in the front. I took out the belt tensioner, and I took out the wheel that holds the belt in place over here, so the driving belt is loose. And then I took out the three bolts, four bolts, one in the belt tensioner, and then three bolts, excuse me. One bolt in the belt tensioner, and the two bolts that holds this in place. And then I could easily take out the whole thing from its place. So now I just have to take the new alternator, fit it to this, and then put the whole thing back and do the whole thing in reverse. And I mean, it took me an hour to take it apart. It will take about an hour and a half to put it back to place. One thing to be careful about is these two bolts here that holds the beam for the wiper, because these were rusted, stuck, so they broke. They're just small screws, so keep that in mind. You'll probably break them, and then you need to take a drill and make new holes, so that I have to do. But other than that, it was a pain-free job, and I hope that more people can use this technique, and it will help you. I love this car, even though there's some solutions that I don't really understand, and there's some things that you have to keep in mind while owning and driving one of these cars. but all in all, I think it's worth it because it's a nice car to drive. It's a big car. If you have a family, I have a family and I have a band, so we need a big car. And that's all. I hope you find this useful. Thank you. Have a good day.